Diesel is infatuated with these ducks. I think he just doesn't want them on his territory. They were up here before, right near the fire. And here it comes again. What are these ducks doing? Oh, I'm gonna get you, he says. What are you gonna do with them when you get them, Diesel? Lick them to death? Hi, it's John here from Stuff It Let's Go Around Australia. This is week 3 of our trip. Obviously we're Stuff It Let's Go Around Victoria at the moment because we can't go anywhere else. But I thought this morning, I did say that I'd do some cooking on this video. We are going to try to do a ham hock, so pea and ham soup in the billy on the stove. So I've just set up a fiery situation, get those coals going. We're probably going to have to stir this pretty regularly. And if we come over here, I've got all my bits and pieces. So real simple, tasty soup. So we had some yellow split peas already at home, so we're going to use the yellow ones today. Onion. I like to put just a little bit of garlic in there. Obviously a ham hock, get a nice decent sized ham hock, get a nice amount of ham in there. Salt, pepper, a couple of cubes of chicken stock, and we've got some filtered water and our billy. Now this billy's not huge, so we're just going to have to see how this goes. We might have to invest in a bigger pot for things like this, so bear with me. I'll do a bit of prep here and we'll go from there. Don't be too pedantic with your onions, just give them a real coarse chop up there, pop them in your billy. They're going to fall away to nothing anyway. And then add your split peas, your ham hock, garlic. I'll probably put about a teaspoon of garlic in there, which I think we're pretty much almost out, so I'll just rinse that out with the water and pop it in. Salt, pepper to your tastings, and your 2 stock cubes. Something I like to do is I actually grind into the lid, so keep the lid on, turn it upside down and grind into the lid and measure out pretty much how much you need. Do that with your salt as well, just makes it a bit easier to guess how much you're putting in there. Not that I actually measure too much, I just put whatever in. So just a bit of a handy hint there. So we've got all our ingredients in there, just really rough. Chuck your nice ham hock in there, just chuck it all together. Then we've got our filtered water. We probably want to bring that up just above that ham hock. That'll obviously, a lot of that water is going to disappear anyway while cooking, and you've also got those peas will expand and soak up a lot of that water. So let's see how we go. We'll go and pop this over on our makeshift thing. So just going to put that there. Try to keep your handle up, then it doesn't get hot. You can just pick it up then. So obviously we're going to have to stir this a fair bit, otherwise it's going to stick to this sort of cooking utensil. But we'll see how we go. Alright, let's get back to you and we'll show you how it's going in about an hour. Well, this has only been on for probably 5, maybe 10 minutes, I reckon. And as you can see, it's already nearly ready to boil. So I'm just going to give that a quick stir. Trying to keep that handle up. And that's just going to, we'll probably let the fire die down a bit and just let it simmer away. So yeah, that should cook pretty quickly, I reckon. And then I drop my handle, as you do. And the ducks are still here. It's a pretty nice backdrop to be cooking to, isn't it? I came to have a look at this Yeah, it's probably boiling that little bit too quickly. Yeah, now the lid's dirty. I did scoop all the coals out from underneath of there to try to calm it down a bit, but it's still boiling like crazy. It's not hot, that top there, so anyway.
Yeah, for your fingers.
No, it's not at all. So I think I might try to move it to the side and see if that helps. We just want it on a simmer really, so we'll see how we go. This is starting to look good. I've just got done a few coals there. You can see that ham hock's starting to break down a little, but it's got a fair way to go. So I reckon probably a good another hour before that breaks down enough. But yeah, it's getting there, looking good. That'll be a nice lunch. I'll probably make some croutons to go with that too. So yeah, looking good. So that meat has now started to fall off the bone. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to chop it up. And then I'm just going to put it back in for a little bit longer. Get that flavour through. And maybe add a little bit of water. It's quite thick, but it's pretty good. Alright. And I think we'll make some croutons to go with this as well for lunch. Okay. So I've just diced up some bread. We had a hamburger bun left, so it's probably the older bread that we had. Still good, but great for croutons. And then in the Weber, I'm just heating up some melted butter, salt and pepper. When that gets a bit hotter, we're just going to fry these croutons off in there and toast them up. And they'll be delicious to go with that soup. So I've just chopped up that ham hock. I'm going to chuck that back in there. Our croutons are coming along there.
Yum. So, ham tastes good.
There we go. I've just popped this back on the heat for a bit. Thinned it down a little. That's looking good. See how those onions, I haven't even pulverised this, but they've just almost disappeared, which is good. And croutons coming along. And there's our lunch. So pan ham soup with buttered croutons. And we've probably got enough there for another small meal at some stage. So, and it keeps for ages. So, hope you enjoyed that. Make that up at your campsite. It's pretty easy. It's a bit messy, but it's easy. As you do, you know, just can't get this quite right. I will make this bed comfortable. That's the last thing I do. Not bad. Oh, that's it. Oh, perfect. Just the right amount of temperature from the fire. Oh, and I've made a little cushion out of all this dirt. I'm pretty pleased with myself too.
Hey, so it's Sally from Stuff It Let's Go Around Australia, now Victoria. So seeing as we're just going around Victoria, and Victoria is a lot colder. I and John, of course, decided that we wanted something more comfortable and warmer, more insulated to do Victoria. So we have gone for a newer van, which has better insulation, and just for a few more luxuries. Since we're not spending money on petrol and sightseeing in the other states and a fortune on petrol, this is what we decided to do. So we have an A-van, the Erin Mark II. Let's go and have a little look. Not great in space if you want to hang something inside, so I have had to put the broom outside because there's nowhere inside that was long enough to hang that. But that's probably the only negative so far. We have the little stove here, which if you're on 240 you have an electric grill, otherwise gas, and even on the 12 volt you have electric start, which is pretty cool. And that is because up here we have 12 volt and 240 volt. Also little things that will tell you battery levels, so it's full, water tank levels, 3/4, really nifty, like that. What else do we have? The 12 volt is on for the water pump, a little noisy, but if you're on 240 you also get hot water, so what a nice bonus. Oh, love these blinds. So, what a great design. You have no blind, open your windows.
Done.
Then you have fly screen and blinds. Love it. What a great invention. More comfier couch. Great design in the table. This swivel thing. Don't know if you've ever tried to get into a spot here in the corner, but you can push it all the way out. It's great. So it doesn't matter where you're sitting, you're not going to get squished getting in. This only works on 240. All the lights work on 12, so that's pretty good. But this is heating and air conditioning, so that's a nice addition. Your 12 volt lights at the back, and plenty of storage space, which is great. TV works on 12. It's just unplugged, so it doesn't use any. And there is an aerial was included with this, which is quite great. So this is up here, and if you use your Wikicamps app, we pointed it in that direction and we got TV service almost straight away. So that's our new little van, our new little luxury, seeing as we aren't going around Australia anytime soon. Okay, bye. Love makes you cry. Wow! It's a good morning. Yes. Why not? Just, you know, doing the dishes in the van, in my underwear, as you do, and singing. So, yeah. And, yeah. Gonna have a good day, I think. Had no sleep last night. Sally was snoring, so pretty much I was still awake at 4 o'clock because I cannot sleep with people snoring. So I should be a little crazy today, I think. But it'll be fun. Last week we showed you our shower setup that we got from Aussie Disposals. This week we're camping for about 2 weeks in this one spot, so we thought what would make it easier. We're right near the Murray, so we're able to hook up a hose that's going to our Smart Tech unit, and it literally just goes straight in the Murray with a little filter on the end, and we're getting continuous water and continuous hot water into the shower now, so we don't have to worry about running out of water. And in here we set up
the shower head a lot better. So a couple of zip ties every time that we use the, or set it up. Yeah, we'll have to use 3 zip ties, but it doesn't really matter. What would we do without zip ties? I tell ya, they are the most useful things. And I'm going to say so again. This is hot, constant, beautiful water, and I don't have to hurry. And you know, I would like a bit of privacy, thank you, while I have my shower. Hi again. It is coming up dinner time, so I'm starting to prep dinner tonight. We are going to have some nice filet mignon steaks with creamy mushroom pepper sauce, and we are going to have scallop potato with that as well. I've already started preparing things, so if you want to do this in your Weber, it's quite easily. So I've already started to preheat the Weber, so that's on at the moment. Get that nice and hot. I've got my onion, my bacon, my cheese, a greased tray, my thinly sliced potato. We're going to use some cream and some milk for the sauce of the potato gratin. So what I like to do is, so I just do a layer of potato. See how I said that? That was almost posh, wasn't it? Potato. So just a nice layer of potato. Still did it. So do your layer of potato, a little bit of cheese across that as well, some bacon. Try to get that, you don't want to use heaps of bacon, but enough to really get a bit of flavour in there. I've got the rasher bacon from Aldi. It's a smoked bacon. So this one is a natural wood smoked bacon. We're also going to use that bacon to wrap around our mignons as well. So we've done a little bit of bacon on there, maybe a little bit more. I do love me bacon. And then we've got just sprinkle some onion on there, like so. I do have a paper towel here for my hands. And then what I like to do is salt and pepper every layer as well. And then I just continue that until I've run out of potato, really. If I need a bit more potato, I'll cut up another one to finish off a layer. But we're only feeding 4 people, and this will give us some leftovers as well tomorrow. So I'll finish assembling that, and I'll come back to you once I've assembled it. Ooh, look at that. It's Din-Din's time for diesel.
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't that look delicious with his hemp oil in it? If you're wondering why we use hemp oil, it's meant to stop them biting their paws. So he gnaws on his paws a lot. And since we've been using the hemp oil, we put 1 capsule in every 2nd day. Just the oil. Get rid of the capsule bit, obviously. And that has really helped to stop him gnawing his feet as much as he used to. Because they reckon because he's getting older, it's probably arthritis in his feet. So it's helping anyway. Oh, he's not too hungry. No, he'll get it. Oh, well, excuse me. I'm just going to have a sip of red. Now, I've done my layers on my potato bake, and I've mixed up 300 mils of cream I put in there, and then a bit of milk to thin it out a bit, because it will reduce down as it's cooking anyway, and the potatoes will absorb a lot of that. So it's about 1.5 cups of liquid I've got there. Some people don't like to use as much as I do, but I like a bit more liquid in my potato bake. Just pour that evenly over the top. and that will be absolutely delicious. So we've got our Weber nice and hot. We've got our trivet in there so we don't burn the base of this. Just going to pop that in. So that pretty much, with the top down, acts like an oven. That's probably going to take a good 45 minutes in there. So while that's happening, we will tidy up a little bit and we will prepare the mignons. I'll be back in a sec. So this is the beef eye fillet that you get from Aldi food stores. Now this is pretty much $20 a kilo, so it's still on the expensive side. But if you go into some of the other supermarkets, you're paying anywhere up to $40+ a kilo. And I tell you, this is great fillet, or eye fillet. We use it all the time and it's just so good. So look out for that at your local Aldi store. I guarantee you, you'll love it. So I'm just going to prep this up a bit. Just bear with me. So I've just taken this out. As you can see, there's a bit of a sinew line that always goes on the top of these, or underneath, wherever it'll be. It'll be on the top, I'd say. Now you want to get rid of that. That's actually quite chewy, so you don't want that on there. The fat underneath, that's fine. That's going to break down, and that'll be really good. But this, you really want to get rid of. So just get your knife under, and you just pretty much, you're not taking off any meat. You're just taking off that sinew. And that will make sure you have just a beautiful piece of steak. Okay, so something to keep in mind. So I'll just do that, get rid of that. And if I do take off a bit extra, I cook it up for the dog anyway, so he quite enjoys it. Okay, so we've got our mignon, and we want, so this needs to feed 4 people. So if we do a nice cut, that's a good size steak there. Okay, I'll try to keep these nice and even. Another one, and then you've got another one, and then with this one, cut that in half, put that together, and that's going to be your other steak. And when you wrap that with your bacon, it'll hold together anyway, and it'll still cook the same as your other ones. Yes, a couple of these are a bit smaller, but obviously the girls don't really eat as much, so they'll probably have the smaller serves, and then we'll leave those 2 for me and Clive. So then I'm going to wrap that in your bacon. So I'd usually have toothpicks or skewers to keep this in place, which I don't have. So just get your nice bit of bacon and just wrap that in there. And what we're going to do to keep this on, because I don't have the skewers, we'll seal it off on this side first, which will help to hold that bacon on the actual steak or fillet. So we're going to do that with all of them, and then they'll just probably sit to the side for a bit until our potatoes are a bit more cooked, and then we'll start cooking them off. Okay, so to go with this steak, I'm just going to do a red wine and mushroom sauce. So we've just got some of the leftover chopped up onions from the potato gratin, and then I did buy them sliced, but I've cut them up a bit finer because the father-in-law doesn't like mushrooms too much, but he'll eat them if they're a bit smaller. So I've done that, and I'm going to give that a real good kick of pepper as well in there to give it a bit of heat. So pretty much all we're going to do is brown off the onions with olive oil, chuck in your mushrooms and break them down a little bit, chuck your salt and pepper in, and then we'll just put some cream in there, and then let it reduce, and that's pretty much your sauce. So I'll show you what that's looking like later on. So as you can see, I've got a fair bit of pepper there. It's a good heaped teaspoon. I'm going to pour that in, and I like to cook my seasonings off from the start. I think it gets all the flavour out of the pepper. So that's just me. Other people like to add it in later, but I like to actually cook off my pepper with the onions, so I think it produces a nicer flavour. So we've also got those filet mignons all wrapped in bacon, ready to go. I'm just going to chuck them in the fridge until we're ready to actually start cooking them. And yeah, we're just waiting on the potato, which is already boiling, starting to boil, so that's not going to take long at all, maybe only half an hour. So it's looking good already. I do love me some potato bake, I tell you. So once again, the Murray's putting on a spectacular sunset, so you couldn't really ask for more, could you? Cooking on the edge of the Murray and having some decent food while camping. So we've browned off the onions. We're going to pour in some red wine. And those onions will soak up that red wine nicely. Then we're going to put in those mushrooms. So we'll put those mushrooms in now. You could have actually sauteed those off with the onions, but they'll break down anyway. It's not going to make a difference by the time you boil everything out. And just cook that off until they're a bit soft. And then you're going to just put some cream in it and let it simmer to reduce. Okay? Too easy. Well, I've added my cream to that, and we also had a little bit of gravy left over from a meal the other night, so I've just added that in, just to add a bit of extra sauce. Now those mushrooms have already broken down, and I tell you, you can really smell that red wine, the mushroom and the pepper, and it tastes delicious. So that's pretty much the consistency I want it. So I'm gonna just turn that off, and we'll just set that aside until we're ready to serve, and we'll just give it a quick heat up then. We're just going to check on that potato, see how that's going. Oh, that is looking good. Now, just use a blunt knife. Best way to see if your potatoes are cooked. These are still undercooked, so we'll just leave that a bit longer. I might just turn that down. It doesn't need to be quite so high. So we'll put that onto half, I reckon. And just let that boil away a bit longer. But that is looking really good. Won't be long. Not sure how good that's going to come up, but there's our filet mignons wrapped in bacon cooking away. Now they're pretty much done. I've probably put them on for about 10 minutes all up, and then I'm going to take them off and just let them sit for about the same amount of time, a good 10 minutes. They should be around the medium cooked. That's how we like our steak. They may be a bit well, but we'd probably rather it more than less. So we'll see how they go. I'm going to take them off now, and we will let them rest. Okay, there you have it. Filet mignon, potato gratin and veggies. Beautifully cooked, and that sauce is delicious. And I reckon probably this cost what one plate of this would cost if you went out for dinner. You're probably looking about $40 for a filet mignon that size. So yeah, bon appetit, and we're going to have a glass of wine and enjoy that tonight. That'll be ripper.